Welcome back to the channel. So on this episode, we're going to finish up the Chevelle, and we got some other projects in the shop. Stick around. You're watching the Vasco Speed and Performance YouTube channel. Okay, so on the Chevelle, we have got the TBM front brakes installed, and we have the rear ones ready to go, but we're gonna work on the gears. But in the meantime, one thing I need to do is I need to make new transmission cooler lines because the old ones were leaking. So we are going to work on making some new hard lines that go from the transmission up to the radiator. So let's get to work. Good buddy Brandon, what shop do you own?
Taos Performance in Raymore.
Taos Performance. Now, in the past, I've screwed it up, and it's not the Volkswagen. You know that Volkswagen they have out now?
Yeah, from New Mexico. It's either Taos Volkswagen or Taos, New Mexico.
Yeah. Anyways, it's not those. And Taos stands for the art of speed. So it's kind of like a yin-yang thing. Anyways, so Brandon here is very good at rear ends. And Brad here, I do sticking metals together a little bit better than I do rear end gears. Yeah. So I had a buddy that was going to come out and help me with this, and he actually had a kid get born, so he wasn't able to help me.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, good job, Zach. You did a really, really good job. Your pull-up game.
Nobody ever compliments the man.
I know, right? Whatever.
That's a different story. Let's talk about the rear.
Yeah. Anyway, so Brandon was gracious enough to come out and help me after hours because he's got a shop that he's got to run. I've got a shop that I've got to run. So he came out, and we're doing these rear end gears on this Chevelle together. So let's get to it. Okay, so I did a whole bunch of time lapse because I didn't want to sit there and explain all this stuff, and honestly I don't know much about it. Brandon's a lot better than me. So we went ahead and we reused the old shims, but we ended up taking one shim from over here and moving it to this side. Right?
No, I just love how you're explaining it.
But we did that, right?
That's
okay. So because it was a little tight, so we did that, and he was like, "There's no way that this is at where we think it needs to be," and I was like, "Okay, well, what do you want to do next?" He goes, "Let's paint it." So we painted it, and yeah, it looks like it's pretty good. So that's a good pattern on there. So if you have a rear end put in or gears put in your car and you don't see somebody paint it, that's probably an issue. They should probably be painting them. So I'm not an expert at this, but I know that. So yeah. So that's where we're at. So we think we're good on everything. So we're going to check backlash real quick, and then if everything's good, then I can slap it back together.
Whoa. Side note, we already checked backlash and it was good, which is the reason why we painted it. However, we are going to look at backlash with a different gauge because it feels in the hand a little bit looser than what the gauge says. So
to be 100% honest with you, when it comes to like little wheels spinning around and dials and stuff, I don't do really good.
I just want to make sure that they know because you're not supposed to paint it until after you've already checked.
Yeah,
backlash.
we did check it, and it said it was what, 8 thousandths?
8 thousandths.
And so I got a digital one, so I was like, well, maybe it's not right because I don't do good
like
with
an in-gauge.
Yeah, well,
like
it's called
tuning.
It's called a Neotech. It came from China. So anyways, yeah, so the Chinese may have screwed up our measurement. So I also have one with a whole bunch of like little, I got black stuff all over me. I got one with a whole bunch of like little
old school clock.
Yeah, like an old school clock.
Yep.
I didn't like those either. So yeah, so now we're gonna double check it with the old school clock. Okay. Here's the little clock thing. So we're pretty much It's dang near 0. Sorry for my cursing. 8. Maybe 9.
So 8.5, 9. It's still well within spec.
Okay.
I mean, that's where you want to put it.
Cool. So not only is the yin yang
China
digital one work.
China do good.
So yeah, cool. Okay. So we completed the gears. Got everything all put back together. We got the drive shaft in, so I got to put the cover on it, the new gasket, fill it up with fluid, put the brakes on, and then go drive this thing. It does have a trans pan leaking, so we're probably going to end up putting a pan and a gasket on it too. Customer also got a new radiator for it, so there's a couple more items we got to do that just got added to it, but not a big deal. So, but again, huge thanks to Brandon at Taos Performance.
Say it wrong. You said it wrong for you.
I've been saying it wrong. It's probably, you know, the English language is a really, really hard language, so that's probably why. But anyways, so I appreciate you coming out. Means a lot. Brandon's been one of my best friends for a really, really long time, so we always try to help each other out when we can. So, but yeah, got these gears knocked out. So heck yeah, do some brakes and finish this thing up. And we'll do a video of us driving it around. Well, I look like a chipmunk because I got a tooth issue, so I'm gonna work on that. But I wanted to show you guys we got a chromoly order in, so we're gonna work on getting that unloaded. Well, there it is. It doesn't look like much, but that's like a lot of money in chromoly tubing. Yeah, there it all is. So we're gonna start on the cage on Mike's Fox body. Okay, so we got both subframe connectors in on Mike's car, and so we're gonna start working on the cage. I also went ahead and I got one of our prototype brake pedal assemblies in. Just been doing some testing and moving around, make sure everything's the way I like it before we go into production on it. Okay, first thing we're gonna do on Mike's car is we're gonna start off by putting the main hoop in. So these have marks on them. And I'm pretty sure this is if you want to just cut it regular to like a 6x6 floor plate, and this is if you have through the 4 subframe connectors, so that's what we have. So we're going to cut it to this line on both sides. You'll also notice that it's at slightly of an angle, so it's not straight. The reason for that is because this bar is actually going inwards at a little bit of an angle. So we're going to cut those and get this main hoop stuck in there, and then start putting some bars in this thing, and hopefully start making it look like a race car. So even though I look like a chipmunk, I can still get some stuff done. So let's get after it. Okay, a little progress update. So I've got the cage tacked into the main hoop, and then I got these bars. They sent me 2 of these bars that were the exact same, so they were notched the exact same. So I ended up having to redo one. If I was going to redo one, I might as well redo the other. Typically, this bar goes to here, I want to say, but if you do that, then your seat can only go back so far. So I moved it to here. The rule of this is it's supposed to go to the tunnel or to your subframe. So we just ran it to the back of the subframe back here. So all I have to do is weld that around. So I'm just tack welding this to get this piece solid, so we know it's good and where. Okay, so this is the Team Z cage that we're working on, and we got this main hoop in there, and it can go back. It's just tacked, so we can lean it back, lean it forward, whatever we needed to do. But we're working on getting these A-pillar bars in, and it's just driving me nuts because where the cope fits at up here, that's perfect, that's good. So that's where that's supposed to go, and it follows the contour right along here. That's good. But for some stupid reason, this thing goes clear over here to get it to land. And it just looks goofy. One, it's going to be in your view. I don't know, I'm just not satisfied with it. I mean, look how far out that is. Isn't Isn't that goofy? I mean, like,
Fit my hand.
yeah, I mean, like, why is this not kicked over this direction more? So,
Is there a dash bar for it?
yeah, well, yes, but it's 1 1/4 inch, and I like to do 1 5/8 inch. So we're not going to use the dash bar, so we're probably going to make our own dash bar. And if we're going to make our own dash bar, that makes me want to say, hey, why don't we just change these A-pillar bars, tweak them to make them work and make it look how I would like it to fit. Because personally, this distance between here is just insane. I mean, I'm not saying it has to follow this perfectly, but I mean, it could do it a lot better than what it is. I mean, that just looks goofy. I'm like, if you're sitting in there, that means like this bar is going to be like right in your vision when you're going down the track. So, well, looks like we're gonna have to modify it because that's not gonna make me happy. So we'll let you know what we end up doing. Update on Mike's car. So, alrighty, where do we start on this? So we got the main hoop in, that's fine. So we utilized the main hoop. This bar here, by NHRA rules, says that you only have to have it be like 1 1/4 inch. I don't know why. I don't like it being 1 1/4 inch, so I always switch it to 1 5/8 inch. Mainly because most of the time your seatbelt wraps around it, or you have tabs to go for your seatbelt, and I'd rather have a bigger bar when it comes to holding my butt in the car. So that's what I did there. Normally Team Z cages fit really, really good. So this isn't a bash on Team Z. Everything changes, everything's different. I don't know what's going on. However, both of these subframes are in the correct spot. That all seems to work. So this tube here, both sides were notched completely the same. Not a big deal, but this bar originally goes to here. I don't like to put the bar from here to here. The reason I don't like to go over to there is because if you have a tall person and the person that owns this vehicle is a taller man, when you go to put the seat in there, your seat is limited by how far you can go back by this bar being right there. So I went ahead, and since it wasn't coped and didn't fit correctly anyways, I went ahead and changed both of these bars to go to here. So that was one thing. So out of this cage, we used the main hoop. We didn't use this bar. We had to modify these bars. Okay, now moving forward. You saw in the video, this bar comes forward and it goes over, and you could literally fit your fist between here and the A-pillar. I didn't like the way that looked. It wasn't gonna make me happy. I wasn't gonna put it in there because if I'm not happy, the customer's not gonna be happy. Cool. Another thing is, this is a rocker bar. If you have an 850 cage, you do not have to have a rocker bar. However, I like rocker bars for multiple reasons. One of the reasons I like a rocker bar is when you're building the cage, it's easier to space it out. So if you make a rocker bar the same on this side and the same on that side, you know that your cage is going to be square. Also, you can put a ratchet strap on it like this and help hold it. Plus, if for whatever reason you get into a wreck, it's just another bar to help. So it's not going to hurt anything. So 3 reasons why I like it. Another thing is Mike's going to be doing swing outs. So if you do swing outs, this bar is no longer one solid bar, and I like to have an extra bar down there for that. So Mike is doing swing outs. I don't like swing outs. The reason I don't like swing outs is because you have to mount the swing out within 6 inches of this weld joint. So that puts you about here. So now you've got this stick sticking out, and half the time when you go and open this up and you try to get in and you sit in and you kind of like roll into the car because Kirkies are not comfortable or whatever seat you're wearing is not comfortable, this thing ends up stabbing you in the back. So it is what it is. I do them. I'm not a fan of them in my own personal car, but I'll do whatever. So swing outs, I like to have this bar. So this wasn't in the kit, so we added one on each side. The door bars actually fit really good. I had to do a little massaging to get it to fit up a little bit better there, but not a big deal. Now moving to the front. So we know we didn't like the way this fit coming down through here. So this is another way you can do it. So these are his original A-pillar bars. So we cut them as tall as we could. I think we had them at 25 inches and we ended up cutting them down to 24 inches. So this is at 24 inches. And then what I'm gonna do is I made this dash bar and I made it contour the dash. You may not be able to tell from that angle, so let's move around and So it comes up along through there and it follows the contour of the dash with bends as close as possible. Because this outrigger is where this tube has to land, you can't change that. When you come up to here, there was no choice. This would have been into all of this, the dash and everything. So we put a slight kink in it here, so it kicks it out and it pulls that bar a little bit away from there. So now all we have to do is make apolar bars go from here up and back to there, which we're not using. So out of the entire kit, the only thing we're using so far are these modified, this main hoop, and the door bars. Oh, and these stubs that we cut up. So that's where we're at on that. We'll also get to use the windshield bar if all goes well. So, but yeah, Mike's car is looking really, really good. And he ordered back bars and they went through the packing shelf. He also has things that go in bars that go to the torque boxes, but he's going to put the back seat in it, so you're not going to use those. Yeah, so we're ended up making new bars back there too. So not a whole lot of this cage are we actually going to use. So kind of sucks that that's the way it is, but no big deal. So that's a little update on Mike's car. So Mark brought us back his ZL1. Last time when he had it in, he ended up taking it to the dyno and it ran out of injector. So him and the tuner talked, they came up with a set of injectors, so he brought it out. We are going to throw in a set of injectors, and I'm trying to remember what injectors he got. I think they're IDs. Nope, fuel injector connection, or clinic, fuel injector clinic. So yeah, we're gonna throw these injectors in here today, and then the tuner will come pick it up tomorrow and should be good to go. So we have a 2011 GMC Sierra in the shop. It's got a bunch of golf balls in the back. So the customer that owns this truck, actually, the engine blew up on it, and he was like, man, I'm gonna put a new engine in it. So one thing led to the other, and he ended up going a little crazy, and this thing's got a 427 in it with Frankenstein heads and a Magnuson blower. So we're going to be building a set of custom headers for this, and we're going to be using 2-inch primaries and then 3.5-inch collectors. So we ordered all the parts for it. Hopefully they'll be here sometime this week. We can get going on this. One thing that he did have an issue with is the pan. So Matthew's working on pulling the pan out of this thing. Also, the engine's not in there level, so we got to figure that out. So we're going to level the engine out, get the pan done, and once all that's squared away, then we'll start on the head. So back on Deadpool a little bit. Matthew's going to work on getting the electronic device installed. I believe it's for like wheelie control. And then I got to work on finishing up the cowl, cutting the Lexan out, and I've got a window net we need to install. And then Matthew's going to install a Motion Raceworks steering wheel disconnect. So I'll let him get on that. What you working on, Matthew?
Spaghetti.
So Matthew's installing this this box here. I'm not really sure what the mythical box does, but Matthew said he thinks it's something to do with like traction control, so he's wiring that in. So.
It's a wheelie sensor.
Wheelie?
Yeah, it's something for doing wheelies.
Oh.
To keep it from doing wheelies.
Oh, okay. So it's like a wheelie deal, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Wheelie deals.
Mm-hmm. Wheelie deals.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's one thing he's working on. And yesterday he cut this strange quick disconnect off, and he put the Motion Raceworks one on there. If you guys haven't seen those, they're really super nice, as they've got this funky shape on them that the steering wheel literally goes on to that one spot a lot easier. Got that knocked out. I need to finish up the cowl, and then we need to order a new Lexan for it, and then I have to weld the window net in. So he's actually already got a window net, but we're going to cut this one out, and we're going to put a vertical one with a bend in it to give him a little bit more room like we did on the Fitch and Camaro. So that's something I've got to do. Okay, Matthew's been working on Deadpool. Went ahead and pulled this bracket off. We ended up getting this welded up. These are back on, and I told George that you need to tighten these because on the Mosers, for some reason they do 2 bolts in the top, 2 bolts in the bottom. They always come loose, and that's probably what caused that crack. So we got the crack welded up, got that back in, and then we went ahead and got our speed sensor put on. So what we did was drill this hole just a little bit bigger, and then you slide this one through, and it's got jam nuts, and you can tighten these down and set your air gap depth there. But then you have a good spot for your speed sensor to go. So did a good job there. So that's done. On to the next project. Also, when I have customers' cars in, I like to just go and look over things. That was where I noticed the crack. It's not like it was a huge deal. It probably would have been all right, but I like to fix things when we're here. So I approached George with this, and he said, yeah, let's fix it. Cool. So got that knocked out. One other thing is I was looking is this one right here, this nut is just a nut. There's no locking nut on it or anything. There's no washers. I like washers. I also like locking nuts on suspension parts. So this is a factory control arm nut and it's locking. Now this is just a regular one. You come over here, this one's locking, but the bolt's not long enough, and so it's not even into the locking part. So what I'll probably have Matthew do is replace these bolts with locking that are a little bit longer that fit and do what we want it to do. So just a little something I noticed. Okay, we made some pretty good progress on Deadpool. So we got the window net knocked out. You can see it kind of curves over and gives you a little bit more room in through here. It also curves back here. The window net, when you want to release it, you got this little finger thing. You just pull it down, you're off, and you get out. When you're ready to go back up, you just pull this little lever down, put it right on your ball. Locked in, good to go. Simple as that. We also cut off the old quick disconnect and put one of the new motion ones on there, and you know, pretty quick, easy to put those on, which is nice. One other thing we did was we installed this wheelie control device. Don't know much about it, but we installed that and got that in, and we wired it. We went ahead and put a Deutsch connector like right there. That way if you ever had to pull it off there, or you can disconnect it there, either way. So yeah, good there. So the very last thing we need to do, I need to finish doing the cowl. But what I'm probably going to do is take his old windshield, cut it, get the windshield cut out, and then make sure everything fits. I'm being a little particular here, but this doesn't fit exactly flat, so I want it to kind of fit a little bit flatter. So I might critique this and change this a little bit. Who knows? I may end up making a whole new one. But yeah. So that's the last thing we had to do on Deadpool is the windshield, and then she's good to go home. Okay, so we're going to work on Justin's car and make some progress on it, but he brought this GT500 bumper out, so the first thing we need to do is get the intercooler fit. The issue we're having with the intercooler is I'm going to have to trim the bumper up, which isn't a huge deal, but then the charge pipe is supposed to go over this. So I'll need to get the hood on there and make sure that I can fit the 4-inch charge pipe on here without having to modify this too much, but I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. So we will get the hood on, and then I will start trimming some stuff away, get the intercooler mounted. Once the intercooler is mounted, then we can mount the radiator, kind of go from there. So I'll set up the time lapse and then do some progress updates along the way. Update on Justin's S197. Got the intercooler changed around, had to cut the bumper up a little bit, change some stuff on it. I ended up putting the tube that was out here in between the radiator and the intercooler. Got the intercooler tacked in place. I went ahead and cut out some of the core support because we're probably going to end up doing something like this, remaking the charge pipe. So kind of where we're at with it. I need to make some brackets to hold the radiator up. I think in the wreck it got damaged because this side's a little bit lower than that, and both of those brackets are at the same. Not a big deal. So I need to design some brackets to hold the intercooler in place. So that'll be the next step, is do that. And then I also need to make motor plate brackets, which this is going to be interesting because there's a giant distance between here and here, and I need to make sure that the engine's at the correct angle. So that's what we're going to do next on Justin's car. But I'm gonna call it a night on it, and we will pick up on it tomorrow. Okay, it's Sunday, and I figured there was some stuff I needed to do in the shop, so I was able to get away, come out here for a little bit. My brother-in-law is gonna come out and help me, but basically what I got they're all these little lights, and they come from China, but it's hexagonal stuff, and you've got these like little, you've got whatever the degree this is, let's call it a 45. You got a whole bunch of these, and you got a whole bunch of T's, and they just all plug together. And then the T actually has the same connection, so you can just plug a cord into it. So you might have seen them in the background on this wall, but it's pretty dark over here. So I'm probably going to end up getting some more for over here, but I really need it in the fab area, so we're going to work on getting that stuff in the fab area. So let's get to it. I feel like Clark Griswold right now. This is amazing. Let me show you how they look. So they don't look that bright there. It is so much brighter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up the camera and I'm gonna turn the lights off and turn the lights on, and you'll get to see the difference between the two. I mean, it was just, when you're working over here, you need as much light as possible. And so these lights just spread everywhere, which is amazing. I love this. Like you come over here and you're like, oh, your shadow is usually covered. Now I got a little bit of a shadow, but it's way better than it was. So let me set up the camera over here on the tripod, and I will show you what it looks like without it. Okay, this is how it looks without the lights, and this is what I'm used to working with. This is the normal lighting back here. And right now, it seems super dark because I'm used to them. So let's kick these on. Insane. Way better. Can't wait to start working with all this light. This is going to be awesome. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. So again, I'm sorry I've been kind of laxing on the videos. As you saw, I had some teeth issue or whatever, but trying to get on top of producing videos and getting them out and getting cars to the shop. So a little harder than what I thought it was going to be, but Christmas is coming up, so we'll have that to deal with. But hopefully we'll get caught up in all these videos, but appreciate everybody coming by the channel. So we'll catch you on the next one.